all of us who aspire to do what's best for this state and for this country. Without further ado, First Lady Barbara Bush.
I think that's nice he said real. He could have said much worse. I promised George Bush, my husband, that I would behave. But I want to tell you, first of all, I am so glad to be here, to be in this wonderful school with Henry and with Kay Bailey Hutchison. And I want to tell you that I am the biggest fan of KIPP Academy that you've ever known. Because I'm old and blind, I'm going to put my glasses on. I first should tell Mark Larson what an admirer I am of you and all the teachers. I can't think of a teacher I know who would really work all those hours and be on call night and day unless he really loved you and loved the school. And I'm just really thrilled to be here. I think you all are wonderful. Now, because I'm so old, George and I have watched KIPP Academy grow since 1994. From one, we were there at the opening of the first school, and we are now, you have 82 around the country. So that's great. And I love the Aspire Academy. That's really a wonderful name because you all can reach any height you want. You can be president, but you got to work hard. And your teachers and your directors and your director, where are you? Raise hand, please. I know that now. It said on mine, I'm not very smart, and I typed bubble, and I said, how do you pronounce that? Bobel. Well, I'm very proud of you, and I'm proud of everybody in this school. It is absolutely wonderful what you're doing. And Mark gave you statistics that I don't have. He said you were much better than I. I have you as one of the top 10 schools in Bexar County. Are you better than the Barbara Bush Middle School? Will you all get out and fight? You're an exemplary campus for Texas Center for Student Success. You're a recognized campus for among the highest local tax test scores in the, I think I'm saying that twice, TAKS.
You got it.
Do I have to say test after that?
People do.
Oh. Anyway, scores in the reading. I met your reading teacher. Is she here? Wonderful. That's my favorite subject. And your scores are also very, very high in math and social studies. You outperform every other area school in attendance and community service. That's a big thing, I think, community service. I think it's one of the best things you can do. Now, having raved over that, I'm telling you how glad I am to be back in this wonderful city, and how glad I am to see that Kay is backed by this fine former congressman, I'm not First Lady, I'm a former First Lady, and actually, in our household, I might be sort of lower than that. Kay Bailey Hutchison is a wonderful woman who throughout her life has worked very, very hard to make sure Texans of every age and every background have the opportunity to succeed in life. That's so important, I think. Just like all of you do, you now can be anything you want. President's pretty hard. Everybody bites at you, but maybe you could be CEO or principal of a school, or I hope none of my family ever runs for president again. I'm sorry. Hard on look how I've shrunk. Anyway, we have a lot of big problems, and we need someone who is honest and decent, hard worker. Kay Bailey Hutchison can do that. She knows the potential that Texans can realize if we do all these things. George Bush maybe promised not to be negative, so I'm not going to be. she's great. You know, I used to say, well, George Bush is decent, and someone said, then you mean the opponent isn't? I don't mean that at all. But I think Kay really has no dark side, no hidden agenda. I think she's a wonderful, wonderful woman, and we need her. She's shown that she really can solve problems. Thank you again for letting me come today. Keep up the good schoolwork, and I'm proud to introduce our very dear friend, Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, the next governor of the great state of Texas.
Well, I just want to say that Barbara Bush is one of the most beloved first ladies that our country has ever known.
That's right.
And I wrote a book called Leading Ladies, and I profiled women who have made a difference in our country. And I did a chapter on first ladies because first ladies have been such an important part of the image of our country, and each one of them has taken an issue that was important, that they wanted to highlight and make visible and help encourage in some area something very good and special for our country. And Barbara Bush chose literacy because she knew that if a person can read, that a person would have everything at their fingertips in the world, and that would give them their chance to excel. And even sometimes adults wouldn't be able to read, and they would be so embarrassed that they wouldn't tell anyone. And she took those people under her wing and said, it's okay to admit that you can't read, and now let's get on about the business of helping you do it. So she has broadened and enlightened so many lives, and that's why I'm so honored to have her here with me today. And I just want to say one other thing about her. You know, there are only 2 women in the history of our country who have done something. Can any of you tell me what she has done that only one other woman has done in the history of our country? Can anybody say? Let me give you a hint. The other woman was Abigail Adams. So what did Abigail Adams do that Barbara Bush has done and no one else? They have been both the mother and the wife of a president of the United States. That's right. And that's big. And I would venture to say, if we all ever asked her which was the hardest, I would say the mother. Anyway, but I think to bring up a son to be President of the United States is absolutely the biggest challenge and the greatest achievement that I can imagine. And to have been the wife and the mother, I think, is pretty darn amazing. And so I'm very honored that she is here. Well, I just want to say what a special time that it is to be able to be with you, because this